Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome into this Sunday morning edition of the 5 Minute Morning Devotion. I am so glad you chose to join me today, and I am thankful for another Sunday. And we're getting geared up and ready for this great Sunday. We are preaching out this morning, and then we will be at home at home church 2 o'clock, finishing a series today that we've been teaching for the last 4 weeks. But we're going to get into Psalms chapter 10 today. And we're going with verse 1, and it says, "Why, O Lord, do you stand far away? Why do you hide yourself in times of trouble? In arrogance the wicked hotly pursue the poor. Let them be caught in the schemes that they have devised. For the wicked boasts of the desires of his soul, and the one greedy for gain curses and renounces the Lord. In the pride of his face the wicked does not seek him. All his thoughts are, there is no God. His ways prosper at all times. Your judgments are on high out of his sight. As for all his foes, he puffs at them. He says in his heart, I shall not be moved. Throughout all generations, I shall not meet adversity. His mouth is filled with cursing and deceit and oppression. Under his tongue are mischief and iniquity. He sits in ambush in the village, and hiding places he murders the innocent. His eyes stealthily watch for the helpless. He lurks in ambush like a lion in his thicket. He lurks that he may seize the poor. He seizes the poor when he draws him into his net. The helpless are crushed, sink down, and fall by his might. He says in his heart, God is forgotten. He has hidden his face. He will never see it. Arise, O Lord, O God, lift up your hand. Forget not the afflicted. Why does the wicked renounce God and say in his heart, you will not call to account? But you do see, for you note mischief and vexation, that you may take it into your hands. To you the helpless commits himself. You have been the helper of the fatherless. Break the arm of the wicked and evildoer. Call his wickedness to account till you find none. The Lord is king forever and ever. The nations perish from his land. O Lord, you hear the desire of the afflicted. You will strengthen the heart. You will incline your ear to do justice to the fatherless and the oppressed, so that man who is of the earth may strike terror no more." The psalmist writes, and he begins at a cry to the Lord. He's wanting to know, it seems that the Lord is not answering. And it seems like the enemy and the oppressor has come out against the psalmist, and against the poor, and against the helpless. And it's as if this oppressor is mocking their victims, saying, where's your God? Saying, what do you think your God? Your God doesn't hear you. There is no God. Your God doesn't exist. He mocks, and he causes the poor and the afflicted and the oppressed to fall into his trap, to fall into a net that he had cast out. He's caused so much pain and agony and so much turmoil for his victims. And the psalmist is writing this psalm, and he's crying out to the Lord, Lord, we are your people. And it seems that we are being victims of the enemy, and there is no way out. There is no deliverance. But in the midst of this, he reminds himself and the reader, God does hear, and that God will deliver, and that God will come through, because God will always work for his children. Let me tell you something today. Your adversary wants you to believe that there's no hope for you. Your adversary wants you to believe that you will never overcome the things that are being challenging in your life right now. But I want to tell you today that you will overcome. You will come through this. You will come out of the snare of the enemy. You will not be trampled under his feet, but you will rise in victory, because God has heard your prayer. God is on your side, and he sees you today. So on this Sunday morning, be encouraged to pray again, believe again, trust in God, and never waver in that trust, because he will come through for you.